Let's not get fucking crazy, sophisticated ignorance.
Hey everyone, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Sophisticated Ignorance.
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm not sure what the staccato is, but I'm glad you guys are here listening to us. I'm Rovie.
I'm Vixon J. And Rovie, do you know what today is?
No, could you possibly tell me what today is?
I know you can. I've been waiting for this all week. Come on, I know you can hear it.
I love it. I love all of it. I'm
going to sing to the best of my ability. Do you know what today is?
Ooh.
It's our Panniversary.
Oh,
Panniversary.
Sing it. Sing it.
Do you know what today is? It's our Panniversary.
I wish they could see you. One hand up and the cheese is giving me life. I wish. If I have
been waiting to sing that shit all week long. You have no idea. We can end the episode right here.
How good does it feel?
I'm finally happy that I was able to get it off my chest. I've been singing that shit all week long. And now that I finally sung it, thank you so much for listening. We're going to catch you guys next time.
The climax was great, right?
That's all I wanted to do. Just sing.
How does it feel?
What are we doing?
I'm asking you, how does it feel?
It feels good. I feel good. I feel good. All right, we can do karaoke battle back and forth.
I don't think anybody wants to listen to us sing at all. Like zero. Like you'll have zero listeners. Like what the fuck?
If you guys want to skip this episode, by all means, because I gave my heart and soul. Okay, and if that
I saw, and I thought it was cute. It was cute. You had the one hand raised. You had the cheese, and you did like a little shoulder lean. So I was here for it.
Okay. And now the highlight of the episode is now over.
Oh.
No,
we'll
it's
pick
not.
it back up.
It's definitely not. Thank you all for joining us on another episode of the podcast, the program. So, as you probably heard from that horrible rendition of Tony Tone's song, we have reached the year of quarantine, a year of the pandemic.
365 days.
Oh boy. I am, this whole week before we started recording, I was just thinking about that and bringing it up to other friends of mine and people I was talking to, where it's like, yo, it's been a year in this.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I remember back when everything started, where it's just like, a couple of weeks, it's going to be done in April. Oh, guys, all right, probably not April, June the most. No, the answer is no.
No one took it seriously.
Well, no one knew what it was, right?
Right.
No one knew what it was, so of course we couldn't take it seriously. Hell, I didn't take it seriously. Like, when I remember...
What were you doing?
What I was doing when the pandemic started was... I remember it started on a Friday. I know that day I had a shoot at my job. And I remember that day, like, getting back to the office after the shoot and leaving and thinking, all right, well, next week... You know, they're talking about masks and blah, blah, blah. Next week, we'll figure out what's going on. And then, you know, they ramped up the warnings of quarantining to the point where we had to stay home. And it was like, oh, okay, this is serious now. Of course, once again, with all of us not knowing what this was, we had no idea what was going on. And I was very skeptical. Plot twist. Here we are. So that was me last year. And then... I was actually looking back on Instagram about some of the stories and stuff that I was posting, and I realized that early quarantine, I was so focused on like trying to get it right. And I had no idea that it would be such an extended period of time back then. So, yeah. What about you?
I was working. At the time, even the hospitals weren't as equipped to realize how dangerous it was, you know, and we just took things as they came, you know, and it was around the time that the flu season was ending. So there was a lot of like masked symptoms between the two, so you couldn't really tell who got infected with COVID and who's, coming down from a flu, right? So nobody was really alarmed if somebody had a temp or they had a cough or a sneeze, that regard. So we just took, regulatory precautions the same way. Nothing was really as peaked as it was until the following months afterwards. During that time, I got word that I was moving to Miami. So I felt good around that time and I wanted to celebrate. So I was precautious because, I am coming from work and I wanted to go out and celebrate. So, you know what I did on top of that? I stayed home. That's my norm. And I stayed home. Yeah, that's my go-to. I'm a homebody. I stayed home, and lo and behold, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll celebrate the week after. Boom. The apocalypse came. And we just stayed home forever. That was my wish. We all stayed home forever. And that was basically it.
Introvert's dream.
But I wanted to celebrate. See, that's the thing. Like, that doesn't come often. So I was like, you know what? I'm moving. Just told my best friend. She's excited for me. I haven't told a lot of people, but, it's something new in my life. And I felt like it's such a big move. I need to celebrate. And I was ready to celebrate, but, I need to plan out my celebration. Really? So I'm trying to plan out my celebration, and it didn't happen, but that's fine. Now that we're here, I'm glad that we had a chance to stay home and, reflect on ourselves. Because I feel like even in 2020, with everything going on and everything just moving so fast paced in our day to day, we really don't sit down and just enjoy like life, like just the stillness at all. Like even back in the day, I used to come home from school and we would just have time before going outside or doing something else. There was always a time that you could reflect and be like, all right, are you happy self? Are you okay? So the pandemic, I'm thankful for that, forcing me to fine tune, my inner self and what I want. And it's blossomed. That year, I feel like everybody has blossomed. A lot of people have found themselves, found their confidence, found their limits and their boundaries, and know when to say no,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we have all experienced a level of growth and change.
And evolution.
And evolution, yes. On brand for you. Aha. So when I tell people about, like 2020 and even this past year, I reflect on the good things because it's very easy to reflect on the bad, right? And we're going to get into all the bad stuff and stuff like that because it's important just to reflect on, what the pandemic has been for us and for certain people and just really give it like a very hard face. And I also just want to like teach people, I want to share information that will at least help people, moving on because we don't know how long this is going to continue going on. And, the government has promised that things might clear up by July and stuff like that. And that sounds great. We're going to cover the vaccine and some information that you guys may or may not know about it. And especially with people who are taking it a lot now, I think it's important information that you may know, may not know. But either way, when it comes to me reflecting this past year, I was very naive. I was very naive in the sense of me thinking that this would be a short experience, and it was not. My whole demeanor has changed in the way I see people, in the way I see myself, in the way I interact with the world, the way I interact with others. Relationships have blossomed and some have fallen, and it's like I really had to like shake my core. Like this whole pandemic has shooken my core to where I had to do a complete factory reset on myself, and that was extremely uncomfortable. And I don't think none of us was prepared for this anyway. But especially that level of growth and change in such a short amount of time. Like I keep telling people, like during March, April, I went crazy. I know crazy is not a great word to use, but I really was losing it.
Like stir crazy?
It wasn't even stir crazy. It was just like, at that point, like all the days were kind of blending into each other. Nothing felt real. It was all surreal.
It's like a
experience.
self-induced solitary.
Right. And especially with me being at where I used to live at the house I used to live at, I was not prepared to be there for such an extended period of time, like day in and day out. And on top of that, I still there was so much traumas that I had to deal with being in that physical space that I was not prepared to face head on. And so I had to kind of get over a whole bunch of traumas and a whole bunch of things I didn't want to face. And thankfully through therapy, I was able to kind of go over that hurdle. But it was tough. I realized that I was running away from a lot of issues that I didn't want to face head on. There was a lot of things, especially at that house at home, that, I didn't want to confront. I had to deal with a lot of grief and loss and all these things. And they were all just kind of compounded together in that space. So just the fact that I was able to kind of face those things and get over them and get to where I am now with the setting of everything that's happened, it's a blessing, right? It's a blessing for that personal growth to occur. Now, of course, not to ignore the things that have been happening on the outside, because as much as quarantine has not only altered time, right? Because this year has not felt like a year, right?
Yeah.
In the sense of the 365 days. It's, time has definitely been warped being in quarantine and being in the pandemic. Time has seemed so much longer than it already has. A couple of weeks feels like months. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because not only, and even if you have gotten into a typical routine, everything just feels so stretched out. The relationship.
Because we count the minutes. We count the minutes now.
Yeah, because you see the minutes. You feel each minute. You feel each hour. You feel each day, right? And even if they kind of blend together, it's just it just feels like one big block of time. Where back then, BC,
no.
in life BC, you had so much different things to kind of distract you. So a average day would be you going to work and then going out and then doing things and then activities and chores and functions and all these things. So your day had variation. When it came to quarantine, it was just home, 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 toilet paper, home, home. It was just and we're not built to have that level of monotony. So yeah, as I said, I was kind of losing it, but...
Yeah, but I didn't feel that because I was always still out,
Excuse me?
I went to work, so I didn't feel that, yeah.
I was about to say, girl, out? Where?
I was always out, meaning that my routine didn't change drastically. It didn't go far from my ideal routine. I still got up, still went to work, drove in my car. The only difference was... I wouldn't go anywhere after work. If I had to, I would go to the grocery store. And of course, when I show my ID, I get priority or whatever. First responders get priority to go inside first and, get whatever you need and then get back out. Other than that, I still felt like I was going outside. So my day-to-day was pretty much similar, and I still wanted to be at home. I never got to, even though I did get a little bit more, I never got to, and can you believe it's been a year? I haven't binge watched a single season of anything.
Excuse me?
I know, it's embarrassing. And I put you on to shows. I be putting you on. I be putting my friends on too. I'm like, yo, you need to watch this.
So you haven't seen Tiger King? You haven't seen all those other Netflix stuff that came out from last year to now? You ever not watched one complete series?
No.
Wowzer. What have you been doing with your time?
You know what? My thing is I'm a savory kind of girl. So I like to set up myself and my mind. And I have to get the right food, the right temperature, the right candle, the right lighting. And I have to be able to dive in deeply into a series. I can't just watch it and not know what I watched. I like to be in depth. So I haven't found the time to do that. Can you believe that?
Out of all
during quarantine
and 65 days, you have not set yourself up.
Rovie,
you need a break. Take some days off.
haven't found
Do
the
your
time
life a favor.
to watch. It's not even that I need to give myself a break. It's just, I don't know. I think in my head, I have so much other stuff to do. I feel guilty if I do binge watch. Like, if I'm not completely not able to do nothing, I won't do it. Like, I'll watch a show here or there, but I won't be able to binge. And a lot of people binge. I'm like, oh, did you see what I'm like, no, don't tell me. I can't go on social media because, spoiler alerts, I just think it's ironic that my behavior hasn't changed much. And I think there is a small percentage of people out there whose routine were not drastic changed. Shout out to all the introverts who haven't changed their routine during the pandemic.
Right. And you know what? I was just thinking about when you're talking about essential, because by comparison, you would be considered essential while I would be considered non-essential.
Ooh,
now we know
I would never say that. I would never say that.
Now we all know in real life that is semantically not true. I'm very essential, okay? You are too. I'm big essential out in the streets. Okay?
Yes.
So this is just more by industry, not necessarily by personality. Because I'm very essential. And that is on what Mary Had a Little Lamb. But the
answer is yes. Yes.
Don't do that. That's my heart. You can't do that. No, but, there's definitely been a lot of division when it comes to, just how we identify ourselves, right? There's essential workers, non-essential workers. There's, the maskers and the maskless. There are people who are pro-vaccine, against vaccine. We've kind of split up into so much different factions when it comes to how we handle this, day-to-day life, this new life, that, it caused a lot of issues when it comes to like politics and all these things. And it really, if we don't really sit back and realize the divisions that have occurred, the fact that we've gotten to this point together as a country or just as, communities is actually really fascinating stuff. And then also real estate, right? I mean, I don't know about you down there where you're at, but so much things have shut down. So much places that have been around for so long have shut down. And just to kind of see the landscape of New York City at least change throughout this past year is actually quite disturbing. And it has caused a lot of people to leave, has caused a lot of people to, kind of shift their priorities.
Reevaluate their lives, yeah.
Right. Do I want to stay? Like a coworker of mine, she used to live in New York City and then she moved to North Carolina. I mean, she was able to afford that and she moved. Right. And mind you, all within this year. Before the pandemic, she would used to come to the office, we'd all be there. And then, throughout this past year, she decided that she needed to, rearrange her priorities. And that is something that, can't be ignored. The landscape of everywhere has changed so much. And how do we deal with that?
It's true. And I was also talking to my friend. It's so funny that now that everything's virtual, there's no need to actually come into office anymore, or there's a lot of different job titles that are not required to have a physical presence. So it's funny to me that the pandemic was able to show that, and we are able to have this kind of hybrid type of community now and find a way that we can also just be virtual but still not also be physical in that essence. It makes me think about the future being very futuristic now. Big Black Mirror vibes. We could just take out our hand. Like, seriously, we take out our hand and like the floating phone disc, we just pop it. A video comes up, we have a meeting, and we go about our day. We have our clear mask on. We don't interact with people. Like, I feel like that's where we are progressing to. And yeah, we're supposed to be flying spaceships like the Jetsons told us, but no, we haven't gotten there yet. But
flying cars. Yes, we were supposed to have flying cars by now, but
and spaceships.
I'll take the virtual VR experience over spaceships and
virtual.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay.
I mean,
right.
This pandemic has definitely thrust us in a new direction of how we interact, right?
How can you use thrust and not want to use a spaceship? That makes no sense. That is essentially what a spaceship does.
Okay, I see. I see what you're doing. All right. You know what? Oh man. But yes, to your point, yes, things have gone. I've told people multiple times I do not want to go back to my office, and even like certain companies like Twitter, for example, they've went completely virtual to where they have all the staff working from home, and especially working for like a digital industry or like a digital company. It wouldn't be surprising if certain companies decided like, hey, we're just going to switch to virtual, and we won't have any need for office space, which once again will definitely change the landscape of how we operate when it comes to interaction, which could be good, could be bad. I mean, for example, where I work, my company made money last year, right? Even with the shift of everything. So we've already proven that physically being in an office space altogether is not necessary. As long as we're able to, and capable of getting the job done, boom. Now, if they ever start talking about us going back to the office, I personally would not want to go back full time, right? Like we used to. I would like if it was like a hybrid type situation where it's like, all right, we go in as needed, and then for the most part we work from home. But I don't know how they're going to be advocating for that. I'm going to try to push that heavily, because I'm capable of being productive at home without having to like get up in the morning, to commute, and then go to an office and then deal with the others, and and then have to like come back home. And it's just like that took so much out of my day. And now that we're here, it's like, yo, I could just kind of get out of bed, check in, do my work, and be able to do other things as well. I wouldn't be able to do any of that if the pandemic didn't happen. So they gotta figure something out, because I'm not trying to go back to no office. Sorry.
So what you gonna do if they force you?
The answer is it starts with the letter Q and ends with wit. No, I'm joking.
Ooh.
I literally cannot afford to do that. That is a bad idea. I mean, it's gonna suck. It's just gonna suck. Fortunately for the job that I have now, it offers a lot of flexibility and all these things, which I'm very grateful for. But I could even think about trying to find a new job that offers that same level of flexibility, so I could like operate and do other things while getting work done. I don't know of any other industry or job that would allow that. So I'm certainly going to stick to what I have now and be grateful. But yeah, it would just suck having to go back to an office. I don't miss my coworkers in regards of like seeing them in person. No, I mean, we can see each other on Zoom. We can chat. We can have a conversation. I'm accessible. I'm available within work hours. And, that's that. But, outside of that, it's just like, do we have to like
You're not going to do a Zoom happy hour?
We can do a Zoom. I am down for a Zoom happy hour. As much as Zoom has taken over all of our lives, I'm down for Zoom happy. I'm down for all these things. But like having to physically be in front of each other again, come on. Now we're pushing it. We're entering, at some point we'll be entering a post-pandemic world, and we really need to be mindful of how close we are to each other,
Yeah.
It's a lot of PTSD, which we will get into in our next topic or two. But I want to just kind of give some realness. Now we're going to get a little sad. Sorry, y'all. To this day, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the death toll. I don't think anyone really wants to. But it's been, as far as I researched, 530,000 deaths this year due to COVID. Right?
Ouch.
And it really makes me surprised when people talk about this thing being a hoax, this thing not making any sense. And we are still in the midst of it, right? And I mean, there's also comes a level of pandemic judgment, right? It's kind of like we're still in a space where, depending on what you do, where you go, how you operate, people are looking at you a certain way, especially my friends. And I know that I've been very mindful and cautious about, how I move, because I don't want anyone to think that I kind of fall into the category of being like, oh, this person goes to super spreaders, or, oh, this person's like being extremely reckless, which is not me at all. My motto at this point in these days especially is, whatever you're going to do, just be safe.
Right.
Because I can't regulate.
And take precautions. Yeah. Like,
take precautions.
Just be normal.
Right. Be safe, take precautions, get tested regularly, and just make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position to expose yourself and expose others. And that's really all we can ask of people, I mean, of course, I guess the ultimate answer would be, hey, stay your ass inside, but realistically, we have things to do. So that's not always possible. Yeah, I mean, that's really what my mind frame is. Now, granted, I'll be outside and I'll look at the people without masks and be like, ugh, put up the cross sign, like, oh no.
Not the cross sign.
It's like, oh no.
They're
no
not
mask
vampires.
Energy. Right. There's no mask energy. I'm not here for it. You're getting a little too happy, especially right now with the weather in New York City getting a little better. Oh, baby. People are ripping the bras off. They're ripping the mask off. They just want to be out here loose. People want to be outside raw in the air. And I'm just like, come on, y'all. We still waddling. Don't do this.
Is the prelude to Walking Dead, basically.
Pretty much. I mean, people are still catching COVID. So, as I said, my motto is whatever you're going to do, just be safe about it. And as long as you're not putting anybody else at a major risk or anything like that, then just be careful because COVID is around every corner. And I don't mean to say that to fearmonger, but it's real. You know what I mean? Let's get into some of these other points here. I saw a couple articles about the pandemic and stuff that I wanted to share with everybody just as a means of a reminder, but also, information and stuff. So one of the articles I came across was how to deal with pandemic grief, right? Especially if you've been in a situation where you've either lost someone or it's just kind of been a lot on your mental, how to kind of deal with that. And one of the tips was to go easy on yourself. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and we are really hard on ourselves, especially now where a lot of things have been happening. It's like, nah, son, like, it's okay. We're all in this together and we've all been through a lot. So go easy on yourself. The article says grief has such dramatic effects on the brain. It impacts our ability to make decisions, process information, and regulate our emotions. That some researchers have likened it to a brain injury. We're just kind of out of it. Some people have described it as having a concussion. That's a lot. But
that's intense. But it can manifest as that.
But the advice is go easy on yourself. Acknowledge that your brain is probably doing some pretty weird things. And if you need to lie in bed for a morning or a day, just allow that. And that makes me stress the fact that when it comes to people working and having PTO, take your PTO. Take your days off. Thankfully my job has, like mental health days just to kind of like take. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself by stepping away from work for a bit. They'll be all right. Take a step away from work and just take care of yourself because if you don't, you're going to burn yourself out, son.
Yeah.
The next tip is move your body. Move your body like a snake, ma. No, sorry. Oh,
you know what? What's so funny with that? A lot of people now, even with pandemic, they are moving their bodies a whole lot. I think that's just increasing the endorphins because what's on the rise now.
Rovie, how are you moving your body?
It's TikTok.
TikTok.
It's TikTok. No, I feel like TikTok, even though Trump tried to ban it, it's making people active, getting people involved and still feels kind of connected. But it's also boosting endorphins. Like, TikTok is hard, first of all. I'm not even trying to go off topic.
I tried.
TikTok is hard. You didn't try. We got to try together.
The answer is I've opened the app multiple times. That is, the first step is opening the app.
Okay, so like the TikToks where you do like, this is my age, this is my sign, blah, blah, blah. Those are easy. But the actual dances to actually like move, you have to practice. Make sure you know the dance. Make sure the dance looks good on camera, and then you got to do your editing. No, it's a lot of takes. You're basically like a small budget actor. Like,
wow, small budget actor.
Come on, no, seriously, you got to take a bunch of takes. Let's say you do the Savage dance, or you do up. You got to do the pop, 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 boom, purr. Do all of that jazz. Clap, snap, pop. Up, down, lean to the side. Then you learn the dance. You do the dance. You make sure you look good because you can't post it and everyone clowns on you. That's one. And that's in the midst of doing all of that and with editing and whatnot and retakes, you're actually like moving your body unconsciously. And I think that's TikTok has saved a lot of people during this pandemic. I'm going to be an advocate for that because I joined the bandwagon a little late, but it's a workout. It is.
Okay.
It is.
That string of sound effects that you made was
Wow.
crazy.
I was just
It's like, are those your bones cracking or what's going on?
wow. So you clearly haven't gone on TikTok. That you showing yourself. You are showing yourself.
As I said, I've opened the app a couple of times.
That was the background beatbox for the Cardi Up TikTok challenge.
I couldn't make it out. I'm so sorry.
You a lie.
Maybe
You a lie.
maybe the bip.
You a lie.
Maybe we misplaced a bip and a bop, and it just kind of got all muddled. But,
All right.
You know,
I'm not doing this with you.
I do follow you on TikTok.
My endorphins are high.
What does that mean?
I won't let you bring me down.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on.
Move on. Body movement helps out. You know, it helps us with our grief.
I have ordered some exercise equipment myself. I ordered some barbells just to kind of like, get back in motion. I'm aiming to work out at least 3 times a week just to kind of like, get myself moving.
Because the summer's coming out and outside's going to be open again?
No, because I want to be fit.
That's also a good one.
Period. All right. Anyway, moving on. Actually,
but honestly, you should try TikTok. You should try one.
All right, I will. Once I figure out how to even start, because there's no template on TikTok to do these.
We're gonna
challenges.
do why do you have to do a template? First of all, aren't you a videographer? TikTok should be like kindergarten for you.
Well, it's a slower it's a slower snap for me because it's a whole new platform for me.
Wow, I'm judging.
It took me
usually judge. This is big time judgment right now.
It took me a while to get used to Instagram Reels, and that's easier relatively, I think, than TikTok. I don't know. I'm not old, and that's the answer. And we're moving on.
I didn't say that.
So develop your own ritual. Okay? Develop your own ritual. We tend to think of rituals as being reserved for formal ceremonies with big groups of people and rigid sets of rules. But any activity, even those you can perform solo at home, #TikTok, can become a ritual as long as it's performed with a specific intention behind it. So yeah, create a ritual, create patterns, create some type of, regimen to kind of keep you sane and keep you, up and at 'em. For me, my regimen is, after work, I tend to step away from my computer. I go to my living room space and I either play video games or watch TV. That's my ritual.
Oh, sounds good.
And cook as well. Those are rituals. Like
that's good.
Stepping away from the screen and realizing, there's other things to do. So that's my ritual. Do you have any rituals, Rovie?
Again, my ritual is TikTok, but that's still with a screen.
That's an addiction.
I do it for fun. It's not an addiction. I do it for fun.
Sure. People do drugs for fun.
I've been into knitting. I'm getting my old lady on, and I cook. That's my peace of mind. And also cleaning. Like I make myself clean. Like I'm not dirty, but like I was just like, okay, let me just mop the floor real quick because I want to smell very lemony right now.
Yeah,
it's cathartic as. Ooh.
Honestly, I love cleaning just so I can light a candle. Like that is my.
First of all, we're not gonna go there. I'm a candle bandit. I just love a candle.
I got 5 of these. I got 5 candles. My collection.
Only 5?
Don't do that. I don't just choose any candle that has a wick. Okay, it depends on throw. It depends on the type of wick. All right, if you have a wood crackling or if you have a regular string, which, come on.
Let me put you on. Get you some volume spa.
Then is the double wood wick. Come on now. Don't talk to me about candles.
Get the volume spa and then talk to me.
If your candles are not burning for 40 hours or more, then you just have a fancy wax in a glass. And that's that.
90 plus.
Oh, you're on the 90s plus? Okay. Soy or
I told
wax?
you.
Are you on
I told you. Get me volume spa and then you could talk to me. We could talk candle
Are you
business.
on soy time or wax time? There's only one right answer.
First of all, do not come for my candle game because I'm a candle pro.
I need you to answer the question.
You don't need to answer me because you've been watching all my soy candles, so don't even try it.
The only answer.
Don't even try it.
The answer is soy.
Don't even try it.
All you have to say was soy. And we're still friends. Thank you so much.
Are you?
Hush. Anyway. The other tips when it comes to pandemic grief is to join a virtual gathering. We've been doing a whole bunch of those things, so that's pretty much self-explanatory. And then to find a community. So pretty much finding a tribe, finding a circle of people that you could commit to, and that could just be your tribe. And I think that's a pretty cool piece of advice, And I think we've all been kind of doing that throughout the pandemic, just like finding a group of people that we can interact with online or in person when we get the chance, and just kind of keep that up, despite the way that our relationships have changed throughout this time. I think that's pretty cool. So make sure to do those things. Now let's get into the vaccine talk. The big V word. And I'm not talking about that V. I'm talking about this V, okay?
Well, the V.
Use your imagination, Roberta. Anyway, so when it comes to the vaccine.
Not the full name.
When it comes to the vaccine, right? Now, for those of you who are listening and you have reservations about this vaccine, you could go somewhere with that. We're not here to say yay or nay. We're just giving out information, and you do with it what you will. We're not here to say, oh, we're pro-vaxxers or anti-vaxxers. I ain't got time for that. Hashtag I'm taking the vaccine when that shit comes out, and that's that on that. Because I don't have the time. My mom took it. My dad just got his first shot the other day. So I don't have time to sit here and think, oh, I don't know about that vaccine, y'all. My parents just took it. So what? I'm going to be the stupidity to not take it? Come on now. Get out of my face. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know, there are different groups when it comes to the vaccine that you fall under the category of, right? So I'm going to go over the different ones just for you to make sure. And you can share this information with other people who may or may not know about these groups. So there's Group 1A, which are the healthcare professionals or the healthcare personnel. So those are the people that are definitely on the front lines and doing that type of work. So they are part of the first group. Then you have the second group, which is 1B, which are people 75 years and older. So, and that depends on if they're in a long-term facility or not. And then also they categorize essential workers. So firefighters, educators, grocery store workers, people in public transit, the post office, food, agriculture, manufacturing, and then the police and correction officers. All those people in those categories are under the second group for the vaccine. The third group are the people between 65 and 74, and also the people between the age of 16 and 64 who may have underlying medical conditions that put them at a greater risk for COVID. And then there's other non-essential workers. Oh, these are the people that are considered non-frontline essential workers. So people that work in some level of transportation, food services, construction, all the other industries that aren't essential.
Right.
Which, once again, that divisive terminology of essential, non-essential is very fine line, but this is how the government
very
describes
tricky.
it.
I don't think you should box yourself into a label.
Well, the answer is I fit under Group 4, which is everyone else.
Wow.
This article literally says.
Uplift you.
This article literally says
you.
Everyone else. So we are in Group 4, Rove. I'm sorry. Oh, actually, you might be.
No, we are. We are not.
Wow, don't do that.
Class.
It's the privilege for me.
I'm first class, baby.
It's the privilege for me. Let's not.
Press the gas.
Okay, you're a second grouper, I guess. I'm definitely.
I'm 1A, baby.
No.
Okay.
Let's relax. Let's slow down, okay? Let's pump the brakes, okay? You are. Maybe you are a first grouper.
I am 1A. What's wrong with you?
How you know?
Are you
look
dumb?
it up? You look it up?
Because you have to be mandated to take the freaking vaccine. You think everybody who's a doctor who's posting, oh my God, I took the COVID vaccine, that they wanted to take it? It looks good for society, yes. Yes, I'll be the first to say it. I know there's a couple of MPs out there as well, too, who did not want to take it because, like I said before, it took a lot of time to develop certain vaccines in the past, and boom, coronavirus hit. We already got a vaccine. So the clinical trials for me and my background in knowledge and science and learning about conducting all types of trials and going through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, you're a little bit apprehensive. But like I said prior, if you're mandated to take it, you're just going to have to take it, or you're just going to be asked out on the road.
You heard it here.
And I had a friend who was a nurse who just took it too. And she said that she's been working since last year. And she had no symptoms. She was negative for COVID the whole time, same as me. But when she took the vaccine, she was down and out for 3 days. And that was just only the first dose.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it here first. This is the Hunger Games. Vern lives in the capital.
It's not the
and
Hunger
all of
Games,
us,
but...
And all of us live in District 12. That's fine.
Ooh.
Don't worry. I'll wait to be chosen as a sacrifice. That's fine.
But no again, it depends on the person. It depends on, risk versus benefits. That's always been a big issue and a big topic. If you want to be the only person in your family who doesn't get vaccinated, how does that benefit you or your family? Are you right. going to be a big risk to everyone? Like, you have to really take a step back and see, which one outweighs the other. They have a list of pros and cons. Yeah, you don't really want to take it. My pros and cons list, I don't really want to take it because I don't feel like it's well understood yet and it wasn't developed. But I know that there is a greater good out there that we need to be vaccinated so other people won't get sick. You have to outweigh what matters to you most. And I encourage, for the righteous side to outweigh, but some people are still, kind of selfish. The anti-maskers, the ones who don't believe that a virus like this could exist, the
Trumpers, basically. The Trumpers. In other words. Don't be a dweeb, get the vaccine. That's my answer.
It's so funny, too, not to cut you off, but that, we only have... Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna, but in other countries, like in the UK and some British territories in the West Indies, they're doing vaccines with things that just only went to phase 3. Like my sister just told me that in Grenada that they're taking the AstraZeneca vaccine, and that didn't even finish the whole clinical trial, but the demand, it's so funny. The demand for it is so high that they're going to give it to them. And it's so funny that I'm going to get off topic that even countries that are looked at as quote unquote third world have some of the best medicine and they have the best outcomes and treatments and precaution. They're not letting anybody in who has a sniffle. There's things like that. So it's we're getting these vaccines, but there's other vaccines out there that they're not even looking at because it's not even an American based company or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of the vaccines, so you mentioned the 3. Moderna is the one that you have to get 2 shots for. The Pfizer one is 2 shots, and then Johnson & Johnson is 1 shot. So depending on...
That's the most recent one, yeah.
Right. Depending on which vaccine that you're trying to get, just keep that in mind. You have 2 appointments for, the majority of them, and then with Johnson & Johnson, it's just 1. But no, I mean, to your point where it comes to different countries, look, first of all, Australia has already passed the SAT test. They're done. They're free. They're living their best lives. All of us are still in the... Remember when you had to take the SAT? And if you finish first, you could just leave? That's basically what the... the whole world is taking the SATs. And Australia finished the test first, and now they're free, and they're living their best life. Italy finished their test. They're done. America's still in the back on question 2 of...
Because there's resistance. People are going to fight it. We're not going to... No. People are going to fight it tooth and nail no matter what.
I don't believe we're going to be free by July. But I would hope. Because...
America's going to be free. They're going to make themselves free. All right. You sit there. Mark my words. It's March, July. I guarantee you America's going to be free.
We did it, Joe.
I'm willing to bet money on this.
We did it again, Joe.
I am so positive. I'm willing to bet money. You want to bet?
I'm not betting anything. You know what I want to bet?
Why?
I just want to bet that we're at this. I'm not betting nothing because you know what? July's going to come here.
No matter what the status is of coronavirus, people are going to make sure that they're free. America is going to make sure that they're free. They're going to do all kinds of barbecues, fireworks, anything that you could think of. Oh, yeah, we survived a pandemic. Yay. They're going to do whatever ignorant bullshit that they can on July 4th, on America's birthday.
I'm creating a triple mask system for those who are interested because during the hotter months, you're going to need to triple up, okay? The doubling up is not going to work. Fauci's going to come up and saying, add one more mask to that double. You know what I mean? I ain't playing games. We have no time to play games. But speaking of games, we actually have time to play this one game. You see how I segue there? Yes, I made a game to lighten the mood, to lighten the spirits.
I love games.
She says sarcastically.
Wow.
Well, why'd you say it like that? I love games, like a robot. What was that? That was weird.
They didn't. No, nobody sounded. No, only you heard a robot. Wow. A robot sounds like this. I said, I love games.
It's the fake smile for me. Don't do that.
Ooh.
Why'd you do that?
Now you calling my smile fake?
Oh, yeah. All right. Can we get into the fun activity or?
I'm here for games. This has been my platform from the beginning. I said I love games, so let's go.
Okay.
Let's play all the games.
So as you know, you stress me out. I swear. As you know, or as most of us have known, throughout the pandemic, most people have been renaming the pandemic into different words or things that start with the letter P. It's been very hilarious. We are going to play a game called In the Middle of Blank. And why? I don't like the way you're looking at me, but it's fine. I would explain the game.
Yeah, what's the rules of the game?
Sure, friend, I'll explain the rules. There's 3 different categories. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through each category, and to get a point, we're going to go back and forth, right? So, for example, the first category is food. So me and you have to go back and forth, starting with the phrase, in the middle of, and then name a food that starts with the letter P. And we have to go back and forth until one person can't name something.
Okay.
And then you win that round. And then we go to the next category. Does that sound fun?
It sounds amazing. I'm ready. Because I like to win. All I do is.
All right.
Wait. Question. Can we put words together, or it has to just only be a P?
As long as it starts with P and it fits with the category, then that's the answer. We're just going to have fun with it. Okay. So the first category is food. I'll start to give you an example of how this works. Stop. Nothing has even happened yet. Why are you laughing?
I'm excited.
Such a child. I love it. Anyway, in the middle of a pepperoni pizza.
In the middle of a peach.
In the middle of a pear.
In the middle of a potato.
In the middle of a pineapple.
In the middle of peanut butter.
In the middle of pork chops.
In the middle of pickles.
In the middle of praline.
Ooh. In the middle of peppers.
In the middle of prickly. Oh, no. In the middle of pumpkins.
That was a good one. In the middle of pies.
In the middle of a. I can't think of anything else with P.
In the middle of Palau.
All right. All right.
Big head bounce, big head bounce.
You got that one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That was.
I like that game because I won.
You just won one category. That's all right. The next category is places, locations, and brands. Now I know it's very general, but I mean this gives a better opportunity for you to get some points. Are you ready?
Me?
You won the last round, so you go first.
Okay. How does it go again?
You start with the phrase in the middle of a, and then you insert a word that starts with. We just played it. We just played it.
You know, I heard that I won, and
We have more. There's more to go.
okay. In the middle of the pandemic.
No.
What?
You're not supposed to use pandemic. Anything else that starts with the category is places, locations, and brands that start with the letter P.
Okay. In the middle of Philadelphia.
In the middle of a pizza.
Wait. Wow. I was going to say a park, but in the does not start with P, but I'm going to let it slide. In the middle of a park.
In the middle of a panda bear.
That's not a...
Sorry.
But
In the
you know
middle
what?
of a-
I'll let it slide.
No. I'll correct myself.
We'll let it slide. I'll give you the point. You might need it.
Don't do
In
that.
the middle of a parlor.
In the middle of a Prada. Prada's a brand.
All right. You got it. In the middle of Portugal.
In the middle of Paris.
In the middle of Pakistan.
In the middle of a Portugal.
In the middle of Palm Beach.
In the middle of a Panda Express.
What?
It's a place. It's a brand. It's a thing.
All right. In the middle of Pinkberry.
In the middle of a peninsula.
Good one. In the middle of Panama.
All right. In the middle of a Portugal.
I said that.
Did you say Portugal? I thought you said
I
something
did.
else.
No.
Okay, no. In the middle of a Pakistan.
I said that too.
Did you say? Why am I repeating the things you're saying? Okay, no. We're not doing that. Okay.
In the middle of Philippines. In the middle of Poland Spring. In the middle of Portland.
It is very hard to give things with P. I'm not gonna lie to you. You got that one. That's fine. Let's go to the last round. Now this is where you, my dear, are really gonna lose it. Okay.
I just won 2. So there's
No.
3 rounds.
Okay, we're not doing this officially 2 at a time. Just hush. All right. This is a part of the episode, so let's just keep it going. Okay.
All right.
The last category is words with 10 or more letters.
Oh man.
So let's not pull up the dictionary.coms. Let's not do that, okay?
I lost already.
How? You big winner out here, son. Now you lose?
No.
You the
I'm
one
not
with
good
the
words unless I
No,
read
that's a
them.
lie. You have the most expansive vocabulary that I've ever heard. Every episode you were
Only when
busting.
I talk in a relaxed setting.
Every episode
Right.
you're busting out a SAT word. Now you don't know words.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Audience, if you agree with me, come on now. Anyway.
Okay, you start.
Yep.
I think you're ready for this, and I don't appreciate this.
In the middle of a Philharmonic.
In the middle of a pacemaker.
In the middle of a pharmaceutical.
In the middle of a padlock.
More than 10 letters, my dear.
Fuck. Padlocker.
No,
Padlocker.
that's not a word. That's not a word.
Oh, okay. Paddle ball. That's a word.
A paddle ball
Yeah.
in the middle of a porcupine.
You've been working on this.
Oh, I've been training.
In the middle of a pacifist.
Did you just try a plural word? Rovie, you have to go back to school. I don't understand what's going on here.
Come on, let's go. You have meditated off of this. I'm coming straight off the dome. Let's go.
In the middle of a pandemonium.
Play on words. In the middle of paintballs. That's a lot. It's a lot of letters.
PAINTBALLS. All right, you're lucky. 10 letters. You got it.
That's why I said S.
That one letter saved. Oh, man.
Oh, I know what I was thinking of. In the middle of paddle boarding. Boom.
Oh, my. In the middle of a parasailing.
In the middle of a paleontologist.
Oh, okay. In the middle of a philanthropist.
In the middle of perspiration.
You have to stop adding S to everything. That's not going to work.
I got the next one for you.
In the middle of a precipitation. In the middle of a precipitation.
In the middle of palpitations.
In the middle of a practical. Yeah, practical. Isn't practical have 10 letters?
Far from it.
How you know? Miss Padlock. How you know?
I said locks.
No. PRATICAL. Practical? How you spell practical? You spell practical.
PRATICAL.
Practicalers. Okay. Well, looks like I won. Good stuff.
Oh. Yeah, take that.
I'm joking, but
That was actually fun.
it was fun.
It made me think. It made me feel dumb too, because even though I know a lot of words, thinking of words is hard.
Thinking of words is hard, especially if it starts with P. But hey, most people out there was able to do it, so congrats to y'all. Believe me, all the ones I've heard have been hilarious. I've heard Pond the Replay.
Oh, wow.
We're in the middle of a Pond the Replay. That shit made me laugh so much. But anyway. But yes, so all that to say, y'all, we've made it into a year. I'm not going to bore y'all with another rendition of Tony Tone song because you've already heard enough.
I hope one day we don't have to keep talking about this pandemic because
Yeah, it's cramping my style.
it's not the vibes no more.
I'm over it. We're all over it. It's been a year. We've learned our lesson. Mother Nature, God, whomever. We've learned our lesson. We're done now. Can we be off punishment? Because yeah. But for real though, for those who have experienced loss during this year, thoughts and prayers, of course. For those of you who have thrived somehow, continue thriving. For those of you who are still trying to manage and kind of put themselves together, just, do the best that you can. We're all in this together, and as long as we keep each other safe and we are capable of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, we're going to make it, So just hang in there. We've been doing this for a year, and I think we could do it for a year more. So please, let's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's...
Don't throw that out in the universe, though.
What?
We're not going to do it another year.
No.
We're not going to do it for another year.
No, I'm saying we've made it this far, so just the fact that
I
when
understand.
this is over... I'm not saying...
I understand.
I'm not saying...
Just don't throw it out in the universe. I
I'm-
understand. I understand exactly what you're saying.
I didn't say what's better than 1 year, 2. I didn't say that. No one said that. I didn't say make it double. All I'm saying is we've made it this far, and this will have an end. So just stay the course. That's all.
Yeah. And I'm not doing any plugs or anything, but I know that there are a couple of apps out there that offer like free subscriptions for like a year. I did one. I did Balance. I know that Talkspace has one. You know, if some people aren't into, talking to therapists and they still, are a little bit introverted, there are like different avenues that they can take, have like hybrid therapies with themselves, and they can look into that and maybe just download that if you're experiencing any sadness, depression, any grief, or anything that you need some help with to overcome, and celebrate the small victories.
Exactly. Celebrate the small things. Be grateful for what you have, right? And once again, just make sure to move around, set a ritual, and give yourself some grace.
Yep.
That's the answer. And get your vaccine. I mean, we're pro health here, so make sure to
always
get your shots. So get your shots so we can start taking shots. Okay. No? All right.
Not you promoting liver cirrhosis.
What? Oh, now you know words again. Now you're back with words. You know what? You're a damn liar. Anyway, so thank you all for listening. Make sure to catch the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, like SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts and Spotify and iHeartRadio and wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure to follow me and Rovie and all of our crazy adventures online. And make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, we have made it a year in this quarantine. And we're still here, y'all. So thank you all for sticking with us and listening.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad everyone's staying safe.
Word. Please stay
Number
safe.
one priority. Yes.
If you are going to travel, be safe. If you are going to be out here amongst the peoples, be safe. And until next time, do you know what today is?
It's a Panniversary.
Hey! Okay. That made me happy.
I wish they saw the hip roll. The hip roll is giving me nothing but life.
It doesn't matter. The fact that you picked up and you just... that was chef kiss. Anyway, we're out of here. Check y'all next time.
We are in sync.
We are in sync.
Bye, bye, bye.
Oh, okay. All right, you got it. You got it. Later, y'all.
Bye.
Definitely sophisticated ignorance, and I'm fucking with it.